Happy birthday, DIONE. As you blow these 37 candles out, let me tell you things you learned in these 37 years. I learned that friendships evolve and it's better to just let them. I learned that my inner child is still my best compass. I learned that if somebody tell you they don't see a future with you, you better fucking believe them. I learned that grief never leave. It just learn how to sit quiet in the room. At least mine do. I learned that people will love a version of you that serve them, not necessarily the real you. You could survive the very thing you thought would kill you too. Look at me, I did it. I learned that closure is a decision, sweetheart. It's not a conversation. In marriage, that don't guarantee forever because both life and death got a way of teaching that. I know you've seen the caterpillar turn into a butterfly. Both happening. Same time, Craig, same time. I learned that carrying somebody's potential is too motherfucking happy, so put that shit down. That is not churn to carry. I learned time don't heal everything because only intentional healing does. And your body, that bad boy gonna scream if you ignore the whispers. I also learned that food, drugs, sex, liquor, hustle, freaking money, none of that can fill a spiritual void. Oh yeah, in the talking stage, that shouldn't last no 3 years. Either we building or we bounce. But on a lighter note, friendships, they could be soulmates too. You should never sleep on that. I also learned when you shrink yourself, you only attract motherfuckers who need you small, so grow. I learned that being misunderstood hurts, but living fakes, that shit hurt worse. God will drag you out of places you too stubborn to leave. Y'all should see what happened to me. I learned that sometimes your family will not understand you, but that don't make your truth wrong. I learned that money reveals people's character way faster than love do. Then having money also don't mean you know what to do with it. Discipline does. I also learned that sometimes I was a bad friend. And it's not because I didn't care. It was because I didn't know how to show up. I learned that yelling in my childhood home taught me noise, not communication. And I had to relearn how to speak without screaming. I learned that silence could be violence when you use it to punish people who only wanted clarity. You heard? I learned that love don't die in one big fight. It dies slow in all the conversations we avoid. And I learned that being independent don't mean I don't need help. It meant I didn't trust nobody enough to ask for help. I said being independent didn't mean I didn't need help. It meant I didn't trust people enough to ask for help. Oh baby, that's changed. I learned that I confused loyalty with suffering. They is not the same thing, so please don't make that mistake I made. I learned that trauma made dysfunction feel normal, and healthy love felt foreign. I'm still sometimes confused. Here go the truth, man. I learned that I was addicted to starting over because finishing scared me. I learned that I can outgrow friends without outloving them. Like, that's a real thing. I learned that the hardest breakups wasn't even lovers, but friendships. My friendships that soared. I learned that my biggest arguments wasn't about what was said, but it was about the things I left unsaid, or the things that was left unsaid. I learned that childhood survival skills can ruin adult relationships if you don't unpack them shits. I learned that some people don't need closure, they just need accountability, and I was one of them. That's all I needed. You know what my biggest lie was? I'm fine. I learned that most people don't change when you give them the world. They only change when the world forces you to. And then I was a bad friend because I didn't know how to say I needed space. I learned that silence was safer to me than honesty, but it only created a distance that was never meant. I learned that needing space didn't make me the bad friend, but not saying it out loud did. I learned that boundaries are a form of love too. What the fuck? I didn't know how to set them without making people feel unloved. And never trust somebody that say that they gonna pay you back on Friday. That just don't happen. Friday never comes. I learned that when my people told me go lay down, it wasn't punishment. It was therapy. And I learned that my independence was not strength. It was a fear for asking for help. I learned that New Delhi Airport TSA ain't shit. I learned that if I'm in a back seat, I'm going to sleep. So if you want conversation, give me the wheel, because if not, I'm going to feel cussick for real. I learned that I need the window crack while I drive, even with the AC on, because the fresh air is the only way I can breathe in peace. I also learned that when I lost my teeth, my smile got smaller. So that's something that has to change. And through all of it, loss, laughter, money, bitterness, breakups, healings, spirituality, lessons, and love, I learned I'm still learning. But the biggest thing and the bonus thing, I learned that you could be fed, loved, protected without asking. And y'all, I learned that from being inside my mama womb. Happy 37, DIONE. And I said you also got some things to be grateful for. Keep them to yourself. I love you. I think I'm going to just go ahead on and put what I'm going to put in the beginning right here. You know, the part where I'm going to talk to myself, kind of. Or maybe I'm going to just let it ride. Fuck it, it's my track. What's up, DIONE? Happy birthday. You turned 37 and I saw you writing 37 lessons in your journal. I want you to read them to me too. But first, you remember at age 18 when you thought life was sweet? Your birthday had came around, you felt grown. You couldn't tell you wasn't on your feet. 4 days later, Hurricane Katrina had hit the town and it smelled like mildew, dead pets, buku stuff. Memories drowned. You had no camera rolls, no pictures to show. And the schools that you went to, I think they closed. What it was, Parkview, you was a Gregory Gator, and some academy. It was like Reynolds. Nah, it's just like, where they at, though. Katrina taught you, though, when the waters rise, if you travel far enough, you can still meet your own eyes. And I hope you still believe that. I remember in your early 20s, life was moving fast. Vroom. Bourbon Street laughs. You thought that job was gonna last. But by the time night came, remember all y'all was together and that man got stabbed. That's when you learned the good times didn't last. But then age 26, joy flipped the pain. It was laughs during the daytime and a nighttime slang. A bullet rang out, boom. Somebody was gone. That was the type of lesson that lingers on. Rest, Kenny. At 33, I remember you stopped swallowing gum. You told me that. You called me on the phone and, you know, I thought about your stomach like, damn, that bit must be numb. Yeah, nah, I'ma just scratch that and just let it be for a track to myself. I'm gonna put it on my affirmations that I be using in the morning. Let the beat ride and fade out.